Today is why you find out why you should change your brake fluid on older trucks or cars like this. At least, I would say every 2 years. Here you see I got this truck here. Take the arm through here. I already drained out the back one. Now watch closely. All that dirt coming out. And what that is basically is water contamination. We're going to cycle the whole system through. Do synthetic brake fluid, .3. Disgusting. Okay, here's the result of just taking out a little old brake fluid out of a master cylinder before I flushed the whole system out. And I got this out of the forward bowl. You can just see the contamination, poison, and all that. And I think if you just wait long enough, the water just flows up to the top. You can see it separating. Yep, for 10 bucks, I bought all new fluid. Okay, we have the rear tires off. Front tires are torqued on. Don't know how to zoom this thing in. I always have a problem with that. The other side just popped off with a couple of taps. As you can see, I WD-40'd everything. I give it a tap of my 10-pound hammer. I didn't want to break out the 20-pound. Remember, just taps. Don't swing around hard. That'll free everything up. Come on, baby. Right off. Put my finger along the goddamn inside. So, oh, like brand new. Shoes are in good condition. You can see there's minimum amount of wear. And as you can see, the rear wheel cylinder, there's a little bit of moisture right there. And that justified tearing everything apart. In doubt, tear it apart. So this is the driver's side. I already had it off earlier. And I'm going to wash it, clean it up a little bit more with a little brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner, same thing, whatever's cheapest. You'll see it all drip down, whatever's laying around. When I disassemble it, I'll get just a little bit less on me, which is important. I don't have to take everything out, but I will be cleaning everything thoroughly to get the flow cylinder out. I will be going right back behind there and WD-40 with a penetrant back on the wheel cylinder back, 2 bolts back there, and to get the brake bleeder line loose. So I'm going to let that set up while I head out for a little while. Okay, we're going to talk right here before we remove the rear wheel cylinders, passenger side and driver's side. They had a little seepage. You don't see it right now because I went ahead and cleaned it. And at the same time today, I took my cell phone out and took pictures of all the spring locations and everything, the self-adjusters, this and that, and made sure I remembered it. And it's been years since I did this, so it'll save you a lot of time, this and that. So I'll also let you know, got it up on heavy-duty jack stands. I left the jack in there for safety. Safety is #1 priority. I can care less about this truck. Safety's first. Even though I'm on flat land and this and that, and you can see that I chalked the front tires. Got that out of the junkyard. Some aluminum wedges right there. That'll work just perfect. So at the same time, I'll let you know, got some flared wrench sets. All the brake tools I ever need. This and that, and whatever I don't have right here right now, my dogs will buy for me because my dogs are good kids. This is a quickie. So last night I went ahead and drenched everything with WD-40, and the wheel cylinder has bolts on the back to retain it right there, and I went ahead and lubricated everything pretty good last night. I hope you can see that. 7/16. So let me see if I can loosen that up. Okay. Come on, baby. Oh, it came loose. Good. Came loose. Now I can do the brake line. As I said, my dog's buying daddy everything. That's why I cook them hamburger, things like that. They don't eat dog food, peasant food. Okay, see, this is a 5/16, so we'll slip it on there, see if that's the right size. And it's not. Switch to a 3/8. Of course, this is the 72 Ford F100 four-wheel drive. Okay. That slipped on right there. It's all nice and tight. Oh, goddamn, it came loose. Shocking. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work all this out loose. But at the same time, I'll let you know right here, if your bleeder screws and all that come out real hard, take time. Go back and forth. Get to where everything moves freely. Take your time. Like that brake line right there. I'm going to work that back and forth with a little bit more WD-40, a little water brush cleans up, so that I don't spin this tube and destroy the tube, because it goes back there about another 18 inches. Then that'll be another pain. Okay, thanks. Okay, a little bit of advice here I found. So the brake line to the wheel cylinder is seized up, right? So I put some WD-40 there, I put a little heat, a little vibration, nothing's going to bring it loose, right? So now I'm going to apply this penetrant that my son gave me from the dealers. I'm going to spray that, and we're going to let that soak up. Then while I was here doing that, I discovered that the differential vent line was broke. Gonna go ahead and cut that, slip that back on there. But before I'm doing that, I went ahead and double checked this. So there's a little hole there. It only goes in so hard. Well, that's not right. It should go all the way down to the axle. Okay. Now down to the axle. I'm happy about that. So I will cut this. The hose is still in good shape. I'll cut the hose, put it on there with a new clamp. Easy. Now, if I cannot get that brake line out, I will be treating this one at the same time right now. So if I have to take the whole brake line out and then get it up onto a vise and then take my time with a little more heat, this and that, take my time. Now, if I had to, yeah, I would make a whole new brake line. But I'll give you guys tips. When you go into the junkyards, grab all these little things like that. If you can get them off, $1, $2, this and that. It's like you can buy a whole bunch of stuff like I did for my truck for like a pack of cigarettes. Don't smoke or nothing like that. But then again, like over here, the penetrant and everything, make sure you wear safety glasses and all that stuff. Don't breathe the stuff there. If it drips down, have a pan down there. Don't fuck up your driveway. Okay, that's it. I'm going to let this soak up and go to the other side. Okay, so the brake line on the passenger side is stuck into the screw part that goes into your wheel cylinder. So I treated it and warmed it up a little bit. I'm going to let it sit and go to another project. So when you have things like that, you get impatient, you start breaking stuff, then you start realizing like, oh, I fucked up. Take your time. So I got like 10 more things to do differently on this truck. I'll let that thing soak up for a day or two if I have to. No problem. Okay, bye. And remember, always use lights, this and that. As you see, I got pads out here for my knees. I always have knee pads. And you can always buy these at the dollar store. The little pans down there, they're like $1.50, whatever. And I got like 8 or 9 of them. They come in handy. And when you're at the pack rat stores, whatever, I brought the propane torch kits for like $3. Of course, I got the cylinders somewhere else, but buy them. And then made myself a little couple stands like that. Really pay off. Okay, be back. Okay, I'm back after a couple of days. And I did get that brake line free, but I couldn't screw out the brake line. So I took out the 2 nuts right there, and I needed to pull this out so I can work on it further. So I went over to where the rear end vent hose was, where the hoses are hooked up to that mechanism right there. So I had to pull out this vent here, pull this up down. Now this hose, this brake line will go over that 1 or so inches I need to get to that brake line and work on it. If necessary, I'll pull the axle to have more access to it. Do I want to do that? No. Now, so what I did was I took it out of that little clip right there. I did the same thing over there, and that lets this whole brake line slide over this way. So I might be able to get 1 inch out of it and see if I can get it loose. And once I get it out of the wheel cylinder, I'll show you what more difficulties I had with it. This is all saving me from having to replace everything with new. Okay, so I'm back. You can see I'm pulling the brake line through, getting it over the axle. I'm able to spin the wheel cylinder out. It'll take a little bit of time. I'm able to spin it out with the brake line. Taking my time, trying not to damage anything. Come on, baby. There you go. One more time. Probably gonna take a good 6 spins to get this out. There you go. Again. And you probably can't see that. As soon as I do get it out, let's see about what I gotta do to straighten out this brake line. And I had 4 days of penetrant oil on here. Come on, baby. And I'll have to do the exact same thing on the other side of the truck. There. I was able to spin it out. No damage to it. The brake line I got right here. Let me get this out real quick. Okay, got this out. See, I can't get it to spin on the brake line itself. So now I'm going to start working on this for a little while. And when I get where I want it, I'll come back online. Okay, so I locked some vice grips on there. I'm going to treat the end with some more WD-40. And I'll try to release it. If it doesn't release, I'm going to let it soak up and go over to the other side and replicate this. Now that I got the pressure off it. Just back and forth gently. If it takes me a few hours, I'm okay with that. It ain't going nowhere. Okay, so I'm not gonna stop messing with that way. I'm gonna take my little propane torch and apply a little heat. I will be back. Got the torch lit. Bring it back up to this. You see that? See that there right there? It's just gonna get warm. Maybe about 700 degrees. Expand the threaded part over the brake line and see if it will break loose. So I'm using very light pressure, twisting it back and forth. I could go ahead and put all new brake lines in there. My little puppies will buy me whatever I want. Brake line bending tools, this and that, flaring tools, whatever. They don't care what it costs to have that. Getting it warm. And if I have to, I'll let it set up. I might do this once or twice. Whatever it takes not to damage that brake line. So when I'm done here, everything just screws together. I used to do similar things on Navy ships. I used to work on aircraft carriers, nuke subs, destroyers, cruisers, and cargo ships. Matson line, APL. I can go on and on and on and on. Mainly did weapon systems. Okay. I'm gonna let that cool off a little bit. Now let's see if I can twist it. There we go. Turn this off. And remember this: what can go wrong will go wrong. Everything get damaged. So go ahead and remove anything that can catch fire. Have a fire extinguisher, which I have behind me. I should have put that in the picture and showed you that. Oh, look at that. It came free. Yeah, let me work it back and forth gently. A little at a time. There you go. A little at a time. I don't care how long it takes. There you go. There, it worked. A little colder. Let's see. Let's spray some more WD-40 in there. Just a couple drops. Okay, that's how I did it. I want to go back over how I'm going to heat this unit up right here and get it out. But you notice this side here, I didn't clean off nothing over here. So, as a safety precaution before I use a propane torch over there, I'm going to want to get all this crud off there. So I'll be back in a minute. But if you're doing this stuff, all this brake dust here is flammable. Oil, brake dust, whatever, it'll ignite after a certain temperature. Not that bad. But I'm going to clean it all off. I'll be right back. What can go wrong will go wrong. I have a little propane torch to heat this up right here, so that will spin on that shaft of the tubing. And you'll see I have my lighting. I have everything down here dry. I got a fire extinguisher. I have facial protection, this and that. And my dogs are on the other side of the fence. Number one priority, make sure nothing happens to them. Okay, we're back on the passenger side. Same problem where I had to screw out the wheel cylinder the hard way. I got the vice grip locked onto the tubing. I'm going to light my little propane torch. Maybe it'll start. Come on, baby, start. There you go. So you'll see that I'm going to heat it up, and just a tip's going to be on the threaded area that I already drained most of the brake fluid, so hopefully nothing comes out. Nice and hot. Move it around. These same two here, I had to heat up with the torch in the front. In fact, yeah, with the front wheels I had to heat it up to get the bleeder screws loose. These back ones, these were frozen in there. I have two new wheel cylinders put in there. We made for a left and a right. Okay, I think I got one now. I'm going to turn this off, put this out of the way safely. Got 4 feet away. So I got the locking vice grips in there. Okay, so slip that on. Oh, look at that. It just came right loose. Yes! Here was that. Going to get ready to buy all brake fluids. And this, oh yeah, it's nice and loose now. So I'm going to let that cool off. And while it's cooling off, after it's cool, I'm going to put some of this little grease oil in there. You see a zoom spout oiler. And I'm going to put a drop in there between the tube and the inside of the set screw, whatever, the locking screw in there, right? After it's cool. So when I do put it all back together, I have micro lubricant. All the screws I put it back in there will have a copper anti-seize in there. Everything I put back over there will have a little grease or anti-seize in there. So if you ever take this thing out 10 years from now, it probably won't be alive. But all this in there will be back in there. Then when I get ready to assemble, I'll be putting the brake grease here at the little contact areas right here, a micro amount. And as you can see, what I just did last time, I just cleaned all this out after I scraped off most of the debris in there. And I washed it off with a little bit of brake fluid. And I used the stuff that is the green stuff. So it didn't have no, I can't remember, some other chemical in there, xylene or whatever. Or it wasn't chlorinated, that's what it was. And that's it. So I don't think you need to see me reassemble the thing. I'll show it once it's all reassembled, both sides, this and that. Then I'll put the hub, the wheels and all that back on there. And then I will get someone to help me to spin the tire, and I will adjust it so you can see and hear, just as you get a nice contact there, how much will be going there. So when we do initially take this on a little ride, the brakes will feel good. And then you never know. If the front pulls a little bit one side or the other, do a micro adjusting. The front and rear do have self-adjusters on here, but on Fords, they only work maybe 40% of the time. Just to let you know, after 55 years of experience dealing with these trucks, this type of truck. Okay, so I reassembled the passenger side, put everything back in there. But the one thing I forgot to mention to you is always take pictures. Take pictures of everything. So you can see here on my cell phone, I went ahead and took pictures of everything before I took it aside. Let's see, get over here. Took it apart, downsize it. Took pictures of everything. Everything. So that when I put it all back together, it goes back together correctly. I was screwing around and I put one part on wrong. So I went back to the pictures and corrected it. And at the same time, you can probably notice how dirty it is when that one was taken apart. See all this gunky stuff all over the place, this and that, the brake dust and all that. But the shoes are just near new. The drums are near new. Let me get it over to the light. The drums are just near new. There's no wear at the edges. And I cleaned up the mating surfaces so that when you put it back onto your axle, there's going to be no wobbliness. Same thing here in the axles. I'll do a little more wire welling here. And while I got it here, since it's 53 years old, I run a 1/2" 20 tap over a die nut over these back and forth with a socket real quick by hand, no power tools, and take it on and off. That'll clear off any kind of little residue that's been there for decades. And when I took this all apart, I loosened everything up. I have to put the brake lines back in on where I had moved everything, but it all went pretty good. The last thing about reassembling the brakes here is that my brake lines came out fine. It took me like 3 days to get these loosened out of the old wheel cylinders. So, you know, heating it, the WD-40, other type of products will relieve it. So, thinking years in advance, I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on it now. And to avoid this problem, well, the next person to avoid this problem, 8 years out. And that's all it takes, is just a little bit right there. Wipe off a little excess there with a little rag. Always keep your blue towels available. But edit this out. They're just enough to get it on there. That's it. Okay, so I put the drums back on the 72 Ford F100 four-wheel drive. And as I was saying previously, that I'm going to run a 1/2" 20 die nut over all these threads that haven't been cleaned up in a long time. And I was going to tell you, do not use power tools. Do not air gun, impact gun, or nothing like that. Get an old-fashioned wrench like this. You can buy them all $5 at the, what do you call that, the pawn shops or whatever. And buy them from guys on the side. So I did lubricate these with WD-40, soaked them up pretty good. And it's going on nice and soft. I was shocked. And they got a rough spot right there. I'm going to go back and forth 4 or 5 times. Loosen it up, get everything in it. And I have a pan underneath there down there to catch any kind of debris that comes off there. So it's going on nice. Back off. Back on all the way. Oh, going nice, nice, nice. I did take a wire brush, a brand new one, went over the threads and got any kind of foreign matter off here, dust or anything else like that. Okay, got it there. The die nut is just a hair warm. That means there was some kind of resistance. But I'll tell you one thing, cleaning up with the wire wheel did help majorly. See if I can get this started on there. The problem you might run into, remember, and these die nuts, the one I have here, has a start and a start side. It says start on it. And that's what I'm trying to get it started with. Okay, let me go to the next one. I'm gonna waste my time on that one. Come on, baby. Don't force me. Okay, I gotta start. Oh, yeah, good. Gotta start. Do not force it. Okay, there's a tight spot right there. Back and forth, loosened up. Back and forth, loosened up. Okay, back and forth, loosened up. And you can only put maybe 15 pounds torque with this damn big ass thing here. Remember I said, back and forth, back and forth. Then when you can feel it where it really takes off, it'll go right on in there. And that did good all the way down to the bottom. Okay, there's the bottom. Pull it back out. Take it back out. And That's the second one. You're going to do all 5 at each wheel, or 8, whatever you get, the kind of vehicle you have. And it's still slightly warm, but it's not hot. Okay, I got another one started. Got lucky. And I think by it being warm, it expanded the hair. Okay, got that. It's tight spot, tight spot, tight spot. Here we go again. Tight spot, tight spot. Okay, it loosened up. All the way in. Okay, that looks good right there. All the way back off. Yeah, happy as hell right now. And I was just guessing how far I went back out. And the die nut is still not too bad. It never went up in temperature. Sometimes you get lucky to get a start, and other times you don't. Okay, come on. Next one. Well, you got the basic idea. Okay, I just got done running a die nut over all these studs sticking out of this half-ton 72 Ford F100 4-wheel drive. And now I got all the lug nuts over by my vise. Let's go over there. Well, first we gotta go get a 1/2" 20 tap die out of my 1938 bolt cabinet off a 1938 tugboat. Let me see what the hell we got here now. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, taps and dies. There we go. Cool. All that junk, this and that. Okay, this and that. That's that right there. That's going to be a 1/2" 20. Okay, there we go. Take these vices here are off the USS Coral Sea. This one, an aircraft carrier CV-43, and that there is off CVN-65, the USS Enterprise. That's big enough to put a 10-inch pipe into it. And when I carried it down to my car from when they were scrapping it out, I had full maximum capacity of a 25-year-old to carry that, and I was screwed up for months after that. CV-43 for the guys that served on there. And we're going to use the same method as we used on the studs on the truck. We're going to use a socket to go over there, and we're going to turn it by hand. Listen to that. No impact guns, no electric, and no air torches, or I mean wrenches. And just go back and forth. And you see I put a drop of air tool oil on there because that's what I had readily available, and it works just fine. And I'll show you when I'm done here any kind of micro debris we get off of there, and compare the inside through. I just seen some stuff drop. We're halfway done. Remember, the top of this vise was clean. Okay, back up now. Oh, real smooth operation here. Okay, come on, baby. I'm off. Okay, come on. There we go. As you can see there, the little debris left over from the threads being cleaned out. I don't know if you can see that right there. See that little debris right there? Clean that up. And as you can see down into the threads, spotlessly clean. And let me put that up there with the finished ones. And here we're going to grab a existing one. You can see down there, a little discoloration down there at the bottom, a little bit dirty. And we'll start that one next. Now, I'll start that there. I can't turn it no more by hand. Okay? A drop of air tool oil around there real quick. Start it up again. And you can do this to all the lugs. I do this with most of my vehicles. So that when you do apply torque to your wheels, you're getting a true torque. Instead of this gunk that's in each lug. And when I cleaned up the studs on the truck, all kind of little debris. I can just see more stuff there landing onto the top of the vise. Take this off and see what we got. Another piece drop down in there. Yeah, never been over. Okay. There, you can look there. I don't know if you can see that. See that debris is right there at the top of the die tap. God damn, it's a bitch getting old. Okay, that all comes off by hand now. And you look there, it's nice and clean. That's it. Do that on everything you got. And remember, anti-seize everything, but never anti-seize your studs on your truck. You will get an improper reading on your torque.
This button.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, we're coming back. I got a helper today coming down from the mountains. We're going to bleed the brakes one more time, even though I've bled the front and rear multiple times to flush out all the dirt that you've seen in the previous section of the video, which was horrible. You can see right there, we got full of fluid right now. We have synthetic fluid, .3. It takes .3. Do not ever just change up and say, oh, I want to get a .4 or .5. No. Stick with what the manufacturer recommends. So we're going to get the kid into the vehicle. Hop in the vehicle, please. Taser will help sometimes. So I'm going to ask him to go ahead. So I need you to pump up the pressure there. Okay, you already got pressure, I know that. So then you're going to hold that pressure. When I'm down, I'm going to say hold it, and then when I open the bleeder screw, you're going to push down gently with constant pressure down, and when it stops, I'm going to say down there, hold it. It'll stop, and I will close the bleeder screw, and then we'll process it 1 or 2 or 3 more times. Now this whole system's been bled 3 or 4 times. I'm just adding that in there because I can't tell you how dirty it was. Here we go. So these are brand new wheel cylinders I installed the other day. I already flushed the system out once or twice, but I flushed it with a person that didn't really care what I was doing. So now I got a competent person over here. We're going to redo this. Okay, pump it up, please.
Pumping.
Hold the pressure.
Holding.
As you can see, the fluid is coming out. As you can see, it's perfectly clean.
Down to the floor.
Hold it.
Holding.
Okay. The valve tight. Pump it up one more time.
Pumping.
Okay, hold it.
Holding.
See that little puff of air? So my inner gut feeling told me it wasn't done properly. It wasn't.
To the floor.
Pump it up again. I had got a puff of air.
Holding.
Opening the valve, hold it. Okay, nice and clean now. Okay, one more time.
Okay.
Pump it up.
Pumping. Holding.
Hold it. Nice and clean. Okay. Okay, I'm going to switch to the other side. If you can check the bowl.
I can let go of the pedal, right?
Yes, let go of the pedal. And take the time to put down cushioning and everything you can get. You can get these at Harbor Freight, these pads right here, and it'll really make a difference. Don't screw around. Don't be cheap. If you get bitched out for buying it, have your dogs buy it. Okay, here we are. The kid's going to go ahead and pump that off. You can see it went down at least 40%. So if I would have pumped it maybe 1 or 2 more times, I would have drawn air immediately. Yes, and then when you put the cap back on there, snap it back in place because when it's pulsating back and forth, you can see the spillage there. And then that goes right down to your frame. It goes right down to the ground, areas you don't want to happen there. Taking the screwdriver, popping it back in with a little pressure. And eventually we put the rubber gasket on it. So here we go. And let me get my pan in place. I want to minimize any kind of spillage. Okay, and just by chance, these new ones here are a 10 millimeter bleeder screw. And the fronts are 3/8 inch. Okay, pump it up.
Pumping.
Hold it, and you should see an air bubble here.
Holding.
Hold it. Okay, pump it up.
Pumping.
Hold it.
Holding.
That was a little air bubble right there. And that air bubble comes right here from the center, right here, where it breaks into a T. Okay, pump it up again. Hold it.
Holding.
Okay, nice clean fluid. Last time, one more time.
Holding.
Hold it. One more time. I shouldn't do it, but I felt
Holding.
I'll just crack it a little bit. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's it.
All right.
It's tight, secured. And taking that extra minute to have your little spill pan there, it'll pay off. And immediately when you're done here, go ahead and take some oil absorbent, the granule stuff, smash it into the asphalt, get it all up. Do whatever you got to do to get it clean. Wipe it with blue paper towels, get it off. Now this stuff that's on the back of the axle right here, yeah, I'm going to wipe it all down, get it spotless. I don't want that stuff staying there. Okay, we just got done bleeding the rear brakes on the 1972 Ford F100 four-wheel drive. I'm not going to bleed the front right now, what you should be doing, but I don't like the bleeder screws I have here. When I originally took the bleeder screws out, they were full of gunk, and I had to use a welding tip cleaner, a torch cleaning tip, to clean them out. And while taking it, frozen in there for like 5 to 10 years, so I had to take them out with a pair of vice grips and a little bit of heat. So when I get the new bleeder screws from in the mail, then we'll go ahead and re-bleed the front brakes again, which I already bled like 4 times to get that muck out of there. Look how much fluid we got out of there. We're going to see how much fluid that actually lost right there. And as you can see, that was a significant amount, another half of the way down. Fill it back up, .3 synthetic. It only costs like $2 extra, big deal. And you see how he's just going down to within a 1/4 inch. You can see the other one was already at the 1/4 inch. And today, push that thing in. And today you can see that we got a little spillage right there, and that'll all be cleaned up before the sun goes down. You don't want to slip that laying around and let anything happen.